Okay, we are live, and I was inspired to go live today. It's a surprise, so I don't expect anybody to discover me quite yet. Um, but I wanted to, but this is going to be recorded anyway. So people are going to be able to review it, and I have a message, and I'm not sure how much I really wanted to get on here, but I was inspired by I watch YouTube TV here, and I saw like an Ozempic thing, and there's a new one that starts with a W. But these are weight loss drugs that people. It cost a lot of money. You got to go to a doctor. You got to get like a device. You got to get a device, and then it has like a needle inside, and you stick it in you. And then this lady was like telling us how great it was because it makes her less hungry. And even though her stomach grumbles a little bit, grumbles a little bit, the Ozempic is helping her keep the weight off. And she said she tried everything, surgery, medications, and but she never mentioned diet and exercise. So I wanted to take a moment to show you something here. Okay, this is what I ate for dinner last night. This is a Japanese Pizza Hut. This is called Friends Four, and the reason why it's called Friends Four is because it's got four kinds of pizza on there. I know that's weird. You got like four different ingredients, but it's made for four people. Now, just for perspective, okay, this is an ordinary banana. It's not a big banana, it's a regular banana, you know. And then this is for at least two people, if not. Sorry, it kind of looks kind of weird, but this was last night's. I didn't eat it all, and I shared it with somebody, and people eat less here. There's figure that out. Like that is a pizza for four. Americans eat too much. When I landed, my friend landed at JFK, and the first thing she saw was a sandwich, and she started laughing because the sandwich was enormous. And one thing you'll notice when you come to Japan is that the sizes are much smaller. You don't need to eat so much, right? And I have a couple of things that I wanted to show y'all. Um, but these commercials for weight loss things are ridiculous. And in America, people have all these different diets, right? Like, and I worked in hospitals with nutritionists and stuff, and there's people there like telling you about these diets, and like the keto diet and these other diets. Well, um, I have some props here to show you all. Aside from the pizza for four people, again, this is the size of the pizza. This is an ordinary banana. An ordinary banana. This is a Japanese pizza. There goes my pizza, and luckily it landed on a plate here. Let me put it back in the box, and that's a pizza for at least two people, if not four people. And for Pete's sake, I mean, let me put this someplace safe. Um, but like, and Japanese people have informed me that pizzas are for parties. You never eat alone, right? Um, Now, we tend to think about these different diets like, oh, don't eat carbs. Well, here's cup of noodles. It was invented in Japan. The guy who invented it right away, well, not right away. He invented it some years ago, but he recently passed away. That's what I meant to say. And he recently passed away. And but he started a revolution. And in America, we tend to think of these things as like for poor people or for young people because it's inexpensive, but it's delicious. And I'm pretty sure it has MSG in there. I don't know if you all know that. But look at some pizza sauce here. Thank you. Um, but take a look at this. Um, in around here, This is considered a dinner, and it's considered delicious. There's the cup of noodles, right? This is the Japanese version here. You can see the Japanese on there, and it's literally says kapu nedoru, noodle. Anyway, but everybody knows about ramen and how delicious ramen is. But you have you have like a different kind of cup of noodle here. You got this one. Now everybody knows the ramen, right? The ramen. And people say like carbs are bad for you. But the obesity rates, ramen, by the way, here's something that people don't know. In Japan, they don't drink the soup. They don't drink the soup because it's too salty. But Americans will come over here and like eat all the soup. So you got your cup of noodles, you got your ramen, and I made this the other night. It was delicious, quick and fast. You got a deli kind of. You got a little soup thing here with clams. And here's something that you don't see every day. They have like this. These are salmon eggs. These are considered a delicacy here. So when they show fishermen like putting these into the ocean, they're like, no, stop. These are delicious, and they're highly oily and fatty, and people love it. And let me see here. What do I have? I have more props for you. This is kind of like a porridge made from boiled rice and egg. And let's review some of the details here. Obesity. So just so that you know that there's what I'm talking about isn't just stuff that I'm making up. And I'm not trying to say America's bad or anything like that. I'm just saying we eat too much and we get so obsessed with like the easiest thing in the world, which is eating. We wouldn't be alive if we didn't start eating when we were babies. But the obesity rate, 10.5 for men in America and 14.5% for women in America. Whereas in Japan, 0.9% of men are obese. That's less than 1%. And 2.3% obesity for women. And overweight, that means you're not obese, but you're not your normal weight. In America, that's 66.5%. Now, I am in that category, even though I'm pretty thin for America. And but still, I think these measures are kind of like a little bit subjective. I think they're a little bit off. But anyway, if you count overweight, 66.5% of Americans, but only 24% in Japan. And is it because they're eating something special? No, if you come here, they have fast food. Like they have McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King. They have KFC. Actually, you go to KFC on Christmas with either your family or it's like a date place. But they move around more. And like what inspired me was this Ozempic commercial, and you could lose like 5 pounds in like, I don't know, like a month, if it works really well. It comes out to about 500 calories a day. Now, if you go to like MyFitnessPal or whatever, you'll see how many calories you get to play with every day. I think mine's at like 2,300. Now, look, if you only got 1,200 calories a day to work with, then I understand that it can be difficult. But to lose 5 pounds in 1 month, you need that Ozempic thing. You sit there and you stab yourself, and it has side effects, by the way, like nausea, vomiting, and stuff like that. It's safe, but it has side effects because you're stabbing yourself with a chemical through a needle. Or you could walk. Do you know what? If you walked 30 minutes a day, just 30 minutes a day, depending on how much you weigh, walking 30 minutes a day, you would burn 120 to 160 calories. Now, people say, well, it's all about nutrition. It's about this stuff. No, it's about calories. You eat more, you get fatter. You eat less, you get thinner. Don't eat it all, you'll die. So, a skinny latte from Starbucks, like a grande, that's like 100 calories. And I think actually it's more. A banana is like about 100 calories, maybe a little less depending if it's a smaller one. A bottle of beer is 146 calories. Same for about a soda. Like you really can easily get to that 500 mark. And over time, you don't really need to starve yourself. Just don't get the latte, walk more. And here's another thing: eat what you want, enjoy what you eat. I think I'm going to lose a lot of people when I say that, but I think it's an important message to get across. Now I'm going to come up with a larger video about this, but uh, I'm going to also do another video about the Japanese diet. I'm going to go through grocery stores, convenience stores. You'd be amazed at what they have in convenience store here and the variety. Um, so, um, you know, uh, I was driving with my friend and I was really hungry. We were in a hurry. We were going to my cousin's graduation and we were in a hurry. And I pulled over to a Burger King real quick. I just wanted something real quick. And so I ordered like the small little cheeseburgery thing. And I asked my buddy who's overweight, yeah, maybe obese. And I asked him, "Hey, you want a burger?" And he's like, "Yeah." And so I got him the burger, and it's like one of those like smaller ones, right? And and he ate it, and then we rocket off to my cousin's graduation. And and the funniest thing happened. He said, "You know what? I feel full. I feel like I ate enough food." And he was shocked that a little food went a long way. And the food is like kind of like a wave, like it goes up, like you're really hungry, and if you sit with it, it'll go back down. And then if you're really hungry, it'll come back up and then it'll go back down. So if you can learn to ride the wave, or urge surfing, as we call it, urge surfing, the wave of hunger, if you sit with it, it will go down, and then after a little while it come back up and it'll go back down. And if you can urge surf, you can learn that you don't need to eat right away, or if you eat slowly, you will notice that that you will feel satisfied. But Americans don't do that. They eat quickly. They eat very quickly, and they eat too much. And so like, okay, again, so this is a pizza for four, and this is a banana for perspective. This is my dinner last night. There's some left over, but this is for at least 2 to 4 people, and they never eat alone. They never eat the pizza alone. And so I don't want to harp on it too much, but let's take a look at another thing. So, in addition to the fact that you could just walk and eat less and eliminate a banana and a latte every day and get the same effects as the medication, it might take longer than a month to so maybe add another week on it. If you're really aggressive, you just cut out the 500 calories. But how about this? Take the stairs and walk 30 minutes a day. Your body loves it. Now keep in mind that with the exercise comes additional benefits. In addition to the fact that you burn calories, your body gets more fit, and then it improves your mood. And exercise is protective against dementia. You're not going to get that by stabbing yourself with a needle and taking those chemicals. Um, so, when you look at those diet drugs, it might seem like the easy way out, but please, consider the alternative, which is walking and eating less. I'm not even talking about going to the gym. I'm just saying, hey, walk for 30 minutes, walk somewhere for 15 minutes and walk back. I used to live in Los Angeles. Everybody thinks you're strange, but you know what? What's not strange is improving your life and adapting to a better lifestyle. And go see your doctor. Like this isn't a message intended for people with medical conditions that keep them, put them at risk for dietary or weight gain differences from the general population. That's pretty rare. Um, but eat what you want. And if you like eating, like some people like, I can't eat oily Chinese food, or I can't eat Mexican food. You can do it, just don't do it too much. One of my clients, again, I'm a clinical psychologist. One of my clients was a bodybuilder. She did bikini kind of things, and her boyfriend and her, they would win these like body sculpting competitions. That was their thing. And every week they would allow themselves one cheat day where they could eat as much and whatever they wanted. So it's not necessarily the content of what you're eating or the amount of it. It's just use common sense. Don't go around eating like that every day, or else it's dangerous for you. But enjoy your food, enjoy your life. Just don't eat too much. Slow down. At one of the units that I worked at, it was for homeless veterans, and it was a 50-bed unit. And we'd bring in this monk who was a veteran from Vietnam, and he would demonstrate mindfulness techniques. So in my longer form video, I'll go into interventions on how to interface with the way you think about food, what you think you need, your self-esteem, your body image, what you're willing to do to exercise. It's amazing. People are willing to drive and go wait and see a doctor, but they're not willing to walk 30 minutes a day. That's crazy. Um, but enjoy your food, eat less, eat a variety, and enjoy your life. I'll go on for another 5 minutes, and then I'll stop. I was just surprised by this weight loss thing that I saw, and so I wanted to see if I could drum up any viewers today. Like I said, this records so people can see it anyway. Um, but one of the things that's really tricky is that, like say like 100,000 years ago, there was no rice, so that you couldn't have somebody say like, oh, don't eat too many carbs. Again, the Japanese obesity rate is much smaller, and ramen and noodles and udon and cup of noodles, they're all around, and they're enjoyed. Um, but so 100,000 years ago, you didn't have access to things that you have to today. I did a presentation once on the evolutionary aspects of food. And the only thing in nature that's actually made as food is honey. And it's delicious, right? Honey cookies, just eating honey. I just put honey in my coffee. And there's a stone etching from 16,000 years ago where the people are trying to get the honey from the bees, because our brains need sugar. You have to have sugar and fat for your brains to work. And when your brain gets the sugar, it converts it into its own specific kind of fuel that only your brain uses. And now, these days, we can get all the sugar we want. We don't have to work really hard to get a lot of sugar, right? We can just go out and get all the sugar we want. I'm sure I have sugar somewhere very close to me right now. But the fact is, the reason why the slave trade existed was to make lots and lots of sugar, because we have such access to sugar, we have to become aware and cognizant of our choices. And that's where the psychology comes in. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, but I sure know, I know a lot. I worked alongside with them for years. So, I could pretend to be one. But I do know something about impulse control. I do know things about practical planning. I do know that sometimes people turn food into more than just food. They turn it into something like special, and they get all twisted up about like how to eat and whatever. Again, it's the most natural thing in the world. Enjoy your food. Um, Having said that, I think I'm going to save the rest for my long-term video. If you can, please go to the Bunny Therapy channel and like and subscribe. I would give my left arm for someone to comment and chat and join my Patreon and enjoy the struggle to live better lives, not just for you, but for everybody around the world that has access to this and access to psychotherapy that I provide in the United States and Japan, but because it's the new modern world, I can provide it anywhere in the world. And one funny thing, I'll give you this one treat. Did you see that whole Kifness things about they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs? They're eating the cats, they're eating, the dogs, they're eating the pets of the people that live there. But anyway, I learned the song. This is my Johnny Moore Fender. Um, but like they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Well, in Kobe, everybody thinks Kobe has meat. They're eating the cows and they're eating the chickens. It doesn't really matter what you eat. Now, look, if you've got a moral thing about what you eat, I understand, and I'm with you 100%. Whatever your values are, I'm with you. I support you, right? Um, but if you're having mythological thoughts about food, or if you're turning it into this magic thing that it's not, it's such a natural thing. If you're not enjoying yourself, or if you're finding yourself obsessed over food, like I've had clients that like go down this rabbit hole because they've turned food into something else. And like say the boyfriend's going out of town and they're like, yeah, what I'm gonna do is they order like 3 different pizzas and like 5 things of ice cream and a bunch of popcorn, and they just devour it, and it has a physical effect. It actually does have a neurotransmitter effect on your mind when you eat, but they take it so far and they like the food and they kind of like the taboo-ness of it. And they don't really have a problem, but they have a strange kind of fetish with relationships. And when it comes to diagnosis, it's not necessarily the behavior that is pathological. It's when it starts interfering with your social and occupational functioning. And now she's got the secret that whenever he leaves town, she orders like 5 pizzas and gets all this ice cream and popcorn and candy bars and stuff like that. Why can't she just share that with him? But there's something psychological about it. The secrecy, the taboo, the overindulgence that kind of like gets them really excited about it. Now I don't have the video with me to be in tune. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets. Oh, okay, I can't do it right now. But at any rate, I didn't really expect to go live today, and we're recording all of this. So I'm going to put these delicacies, these fish eggs, back in the freezer. They're absolutely wonderful. Try it. And when you eat your ramen, don't drink the soup. It's too salty. It's not good for you. Like there's certain things like water will kill you if you drink too much of it. If you take too much salt, then you're putting yourself at health risks. And I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about eating like what you want, when you want. Just don't eat too much of it. Eat it slowly. Oh, I forgot to mention about the monk. The monk, he would come and visit us and he would teach us about mindfulness, about like becoming aware in the present moment of what we're doing and making thoughtful and deliberate choices. And he'd always bring a bucket of apples that he'd chopped up, and he would pass them out to everybody. And these veterans, being homeless, substance abusing guys, they have problems with impulse control. But he said, okay, for each piece of apple, and they get one really, chew it 40 times before, for each bite, chew it 40 times before you swallow. And it's kind of like a meditation. But there's something implicit there that's really important. Slow down, enjoy your food. If you sit there and you really start to pay attention to it, the way your mouth waters, the way your hand moves to your mouth, the anticipation of it, and the more the texture changes, like the temperature is different when you first start, and the way it changes as you chew it, and notice how your body and your mind react to it. And when you eat the apple so slowly, you're going to get something so much more rewarding than just like bop, 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 like we tend to do in America. One more thing, and then I'll go. Um, People talk about food and health and the cost of food and inflation. And Japan's an island, and so the way they go around growing fruit is very different, because they don't have the border of Mexico there, and they don't have all these things that Americans do to just like mass produce all this food. So an apple costs like $3. I'm not kidding, but it is so sweet and buttery and delicious. And the watermelon here is so delicious and sweet. You just can't experience it. It's not the same. And so, yes, it costs $3, but my apple lasts me a couple days. I have it for breakfast. I chop it up and I eat it very slowly, and I appreciate it. And it's good for you because a an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Not a doctor a day keeps an apple away. That would be weird. At any rate, I'm going to put this stuff. I forget. Oh, ikura is what they call it in Japan, and it goes great on sushi. If you have sushi, you might see it on your food as well. So go to the channel Bunny Therapy. Look for the long form video of this, and I'm going to follow it up with a trip to the Japanese supermarket because that's a lot of fun. And then for my Patreon members, I'm going to put some recipes that are quick and easy and healthy to make, and all the ingredients are available for you in America. And it has carbs, and it's delicious, and it's healthy. And but I'm going to put some secret recipes on there after I do the full length food thing, where I consider, what's going on in America with food and nutrition and what I've learned, and the psychological interventions for it. And then I'm going to do, like, because people think that like what they eat in Japan is like special. And you know what? Okay, one more thing. I've got a minute and 45 seconds. Every time I say, hey, I live in Japan, they're like, oh, I can't wait to get there and eat some sushi and some teriyaki. Let me tell you, they don't eat sushi every day. It's a special thing. Yeah, it's at the grocery store and you can get it. It's all prepared and everything like that. It's there. And teriyaki is there, particularly at McDonald's. They have these like seasonal things, But teriyaki and sushi are not what people eat. And I made a big list. Where's my big list? Look at this. I don't have my list. But it's like, imagine this page was just filled with all the different kinds of food. And I'm going to go over them and show you what they are. And so you can get an education on what they actually do eat here. But it's much more than that. It's about portion size. It's about enjoying the food. And Japanese television is absolutely terrible because, like, I would say at least 30, if not 40% of it is them going to small mom and pop restaurants, asking if they can video, coming in, and it's low production, and they just sit there and eat the food. And so there's a high price on food here, And so they kind of celebrate it, but they approach it with a different way that is much healthier. They move around, they eat less. So here comes the lesson. All right. And I'm going to tie this up with a bow. By the way, go to the YouTube shorts. I just put two up there, one 15-second and one 30-second. I'm going to do a really long video for the foodies on the Japanese cuisine. And I'm also going to do a longer version to kind of like try and bring some common sense to the issue about food in general. But until then, remember, this was my dinner last night. I still have more of it. It's Friends for Pizza. It's for 4 people. This is a banana for perspective. It's not a big banana. And I wish you happy physical and mental health. Okay. And whoever gave me the thumbs up, I appreciate it. That's my first comment. I started live streaming yesterday. And so this is kind of a thing in action. Kind of an experiment, if you will. And you could probably tell because I'm not necessarily great at it. But I have a message. And for everybody who came and visited, thank you. And for everybody who watches this afterwards, thank you. I hope it helped.